Hello and welcome to.
Hey, we like your pod.
And we're going to tell you why. Hi, it's Dawn here with Sneaky Matt. I thought you weren't going to say we're going to tell you why there for a sec. You had a little pause. I panicked. I thought my
Oh no,
volume was off or something. How you doing, Maddie? It's good to see you.
it's good to see you too. I'm happy to be here. I know it's been a while since we've done an episode, so happy to be back here. Despite the seeming lack of content to talk about, there's been a lot of really interesting stuff people are doing. I think it's how we get through the off season is people do weird stuff, which is cool. So, just really happy to be here and enjoying the summer and about to go on a couple little trips. So I'm doing great. How about you, Don?
Yay, I'm doing great too. We're having our heat wave. It's 75 and everyone's fainting. But sadly, we're having up in Wisconsin where you're heading. There's my mom and my sister said they had to stay inside because of smoke.
Yeah, the air quality is awful because Canada's burning, I guess, or something.
Right, which it has been for a couple years. It's been an issue. I don't ever remember that being an issue until a few years ago. Usually it's out here that's burning. Of course, it is burning out here. But I think San Diego might have finally, I shouldn't say it out loud, but gotten a handle on how to handle fires so they don't burn down
Hmm.
600 people's houses. Because we have a lot of fires, but they're putting them out right away. I mean, it's been really good. I mean, not right away. Sometimes people have to evacuate and stuff, but before it's a big tragedy. So that's, I'm thankful for that. It's hot in the desert, of course, but here on the coast, we're really, 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 really lucky.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I heard it was super hot and super smoky. And then I looked at the fire because my sister told me about the fires. And so I looked at the map and I saw there were even a bunch of fires in what appears to be South Dakota, where our Katie lives.
Oh
South
no,
Dakota. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Hmm.
I thought it was just like the border of Canada and the U.S. So, yikes! Thoughts and
No.
prayers to all the people affected. My goodness, my sister lives in
Yeah.
Chicago.
It's
She works downtown, and she sent me a picture this morning from like outside her
hmm
window. It looks like just
right.
fog, is what it looks like. Thick.
Right. Yeah. I've lived through so many of those. And I'm just like, as soon as my sister sent me the same thing, I was like, ugh, stay inside, don't breathe it. Because
That's
I
right.
think a lot of my respiratory issues are from having to deal with some pretty
Mm.
serious smoke over the years. Yeah. So, anywho, I'm kind of excited, Matt, about it's July 16th, Matt.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
We're
that
getting
means
there.
family night. Family night is, I think I said 2 weeks, but I think it's more like 3 weeks, right? 3 weeks for family night. And that means
Don't know the date,
then
but
we're going to start, I think it's August 7th. For some reason, I thought it was earlier. But anyway, when I did the post. But see, it's almost here. It's almost
hmm
here. And I'm getting really, really psyched. I played somebody had like Best of Sky Moore um
hmm
returns.
yeah,
And yeah, that's all I needed, really. But I listened to a lot of content today. But yeah. But I think last our last show in this show, I mean, at least my focus is to share what I'm doing during the off season to keep myself entertained with football, even though
hmm
there's not football going on in so
yeah.
football adjacent. So I don't know what you have on your plans tonight, but tell me how your week is going. What's up in your world before we get going on our superlatives?
Yeah, I think just really fast, I could say that the summer, despite there being no football games, school being out for weeks, and it's too hot to go outside, I don't have time to decorate, True North Packers fan, because I work a staff job at university, so it's year round. In the summer, when I used to be an academic advisor, it's extremely busy because that is like summer orientation season. But now working in retention,
Mm.
it's more this tedium, this tedium of like
Ugh.
calling all the students from my college who haven't enrolled in classes yet. So it's just like one call after another, which
Oh,
it's a grind. But then, every 3 or 4 calls, a kid picks up the phone and you have like these delightful conversations. It's really nice. So,
oh, nice.
um, though it's like you kind of get into like, machine mode, kind of going through them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you get to talk to some cool people at the same time. But apart from that, I grilled out tonight. I did a mixed grill. We did a couple of pork chops, a couple of burgers, and some salmon for my kid who's trying out pescatarianism. Grilled some peaches too.
Nice.
And we have new neighbors who moved into the house next door, and they're from
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin. They're
Oh,
not Packers fans, unfortunately,
why?
which is a bummer.
What are they
But so I
fans
was,
of?
they're from Milwaukee. They're like Milwaukee City kids. So they do not like sports.
So not
So
football people. Okay.
yeah. So the one of the guys though was cutting down some hanging vines from the trees in his backyard, and I was out there like doing the grilling. He's like, "Hey, you want me to do yours while I'm out here?" I was like, "Yeah, that'd be great, thanks." So when he was done, I was like, "Hey, I bet you like spotted cow, huh?" Turns out he did. So I went and got him one from the fridge, and he was appreciative. We had a nice little moment.
Oh,
So I'm
little
having a great day.
Wisconsin moment in
Hmm.
Ohio. That's
Indeed, it
darling.
was nice.
I love that, Maddie. Well, I know we have a lot to talk about tonight, so let's get to it. It's time for this week's superlatives. Maddie, I have
That was
so many superlatives.
you didn't catch me by surprise that time. Obviously, you telegraphed it's coming, but I still love
Right.
it. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad you love the superlative swoosh. Okay, so all right, so I have like eight. I know we're supposed to only have three, but six of them are like one.
There you go.
So
So it's three.
I'm gonna start. Let's do our ping pong, but I'm gonna
Yeah,
give you
yeah.
my first two, and you'll see how quick I can do this. Quick, 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 snappy, if I can find them. Okay, worst. Okay, we usually keep it positive, but I'm gonna start out with the
God.
negatory. You're gonna love it though. It's kind of funny. Worst word to describe an NFL player goes to Saturday Morning Inspection podcast, who
Oh
I
no.
love.
I love that one. Yeah.
Um, Describing Sky Moore as convicted.
Ooh, oh, yeah, no, no,
Yes, he
not
has conviction. But
not
he
because he's
didn't
been
just
convicted.
once say it. He did not just say it once. He said it over and
Oh
over and over.
no.
And I think he was trying to get me to react. I really do. And he kept repeating it. And of course, he meant he has conviction. But yeah,
Hmm.
I thought it was pretty. And so that's kind of my segue because I did look into this because I do talk about crime a lot, especially
Hmm.
as and legal matters relating to the NFL and NFL adjacent. So I did do a little research, and I'm not going to give you all the references or anything unless you're interested. Just contact me. But the best available research does not, and this was a relief to me, support the idea that NFL players are arrested for violent crimes at a dramatically or even a higher rate than comparable young men. So,
Okay.
overall arrest rates are actually lower. And of course, findings on violent offenses are a little more nuanced, but that was kind of a relief to hear
Hmm.
because we hear about all the bad things that NFL and former NFL players do. I
Yeah.
shouldn't laugh, um, but it's because we hear much more about them. So they're not, thankfully, happening at a higher rate. Because I had that question. I was like, what is happening? Why is this happening so much? It's not really. So there, that's my first superlative. It's one and two.
So the research that you found that showed that number one, I totally believe you, but like who are we like shouting out for doing that research?
Well, okay, so we've got the Journal of Criminal Justice, Leal Gerst and Picaro. I think they are they wrote an article called, and I remembered this from way back, the National Felon League
Mm,
was the name of their article. and it was a comparison of NFL arrests to the general population arrests. And that's like peer reviewed. I won't go into all the findings, but that's one. One of them was 538, Neil Payne.
Hmm.
And his article was the rate of domestic violence arrests against NFL players, basically finding that NFL players were arrested far less often overall. And then Boston University did a review in 2019, and their review was titled Homicide. I don't know why I'm laughing at this tonight, but homicidal violence among National Football League athletes. And although the paper focuses on homicide, it summarizes prior research that goes back and references other um, articles and notes that NFL players have lower arrest rates than similarly aged men for several violent offenses, not just homicide. So
Hmm.
we
That
should
is
all
really
feel
interesting.
better about that.
Also,
Mhm.
yeah, it's like reassuring because of course we look up to these people, to varying degrees, but I think that's why it's so shocking when it does happen because we want to hold these people in high regard and see them as being role models. So when one person steps outside and does one terrible thing, it casts a poor light on the rest of the league, of course. But to know that it's less common than for the general populace of that sort of whatever demographic group that the age that those players belong to, I'm really glad to hear that, and especially right
Yeah.
now when we're waiting to hear about the Josh Jacobs situation. I don't know
Mhm.
what's going to happen with it. We're all kind of hoping it just kind of wasn't a big deal and goes away, but even still, it's like
Right.
I don't know. It wasn't a good look for our guy.
Right. And it reflects on the whole team, which then tends to reflect on the community, not really, but, the community reflects on it. And so, the Packers, for example, I'm sure many teams boast about this, but high character is very important to them. And, for all players. And, for me, it's not so much that I look to athletes or whomever, of note for, you know, for moral guidance or anything. But
Sure.
my thing is like, look, you're making $30 million a year. Can you not find something better to do with your time so that you're not risking your life? Your life,
Yes.
your career. Most of these guys are taking care of family members too, that type of thing. And
Mhm.
it's just kind of like, what's wrong with you that you can't know that you're successful and be happy and you have to do stupid things?
Yeah.
That's more my
Yes.
take.
But fortunately, it's less common than the general population. That's good.
Yes, thankfully. What do you
Thankfully.
have, Maddie?
Before I
What's
do,
your first one?
before I do my first one, I was going to say a quick shout out to Iowa Joe for being here, and of course for True North, we mentioned already. True North, checks in the mail, buddy. All right. So my first superlative for the evening. This is a best interview. This was a lot of fun. This one, it was on a podcast that I was not familiar with that I'll be checking out more and more because I really enjoyed it. It was the Pack Reacts podcast. They were interviewing our friend Dusty Evely. By the way, happy birthday to Dusty. He is 40 something. So I was watching this interview. I love that they took the sort of time to go through different sort of um, facets of Dusty's life and his career and his work and stuff like that. It was a very thorough interview. Put it that way. It was very thorough, and I enjoyed that about it.
Wow.
Um,
Oh,
just a ton of fun. It seemed like they're all having a
I
good
love
time,
that.
just like it was just a conversation, which is what we want from our podcasts. So highly recommend that. Pack Reacts, guys. I'll be checking out more. Probably be mentioned on the show a few times in the future. I wouldn't be surprised because you do good work there. I really enjoyed it.
That's really cool, Matt. I'm trying to remember if I've ever heard of them before or not,
I was not
but
familiar with
I
their
will
name. Yeah.
definitely check that out. Good reminder. Good reminder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's my second
Okay.
through sixth or seventh superlative. It's a theme, okay? Let's just start. I just want to mention this one because this is partly how I spend my off season, not going crazy because there's no football. I focus on legal things.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is sad. It's the most gut wrenching, but I wanted to mention it because this is about Blaze Taylor. He was
Okay.
that NFL Titans scout.
Oh yeah,
He's
yeah,
the
yeah.
son of, yes, okay. son of a famous football coach for college. Okay, so whose name is Trooper Taylor. So he had a history of he played defensive back, a return specialist at Arkansas State. He worked as a grad assistant for Duke football. He later joined the Titans. I believe this is when Vrabel was coach, as a pro scout, and subsequently served as a defensive analyst at Utah State
Hmm.
at Aggies, which is where Jordan Love is from, right? So he was indicted in 2024 on charges related to the deaths of his pregnant girlfriend. Shall we just say someone he was dating, not his? He made that very clear. Her name is Jade Benning, um, but also their unborn child. And the prosecutors were alleging that he intentionally poisoned Benning with cocaine in February of 2023, causing her death and the death of the baby. And he pled not guilty. I watched the trial, and
Hmm.
boy, I watch trials a lot. This was, and I think I'm going to watch less in the future. This one killed me. It was so sad, so gut wrenching. But it took the jury 3 hours to deliberate and find him guilty. And then in this case, it depends on state to state kind of thing. This is done in Nashville, Tennessee, I believe, was where the trial was. And in this case, the jury is the one who does the sentencing. It's not, it just depends. And so they came back after several hours. They listened to the victim impact statements,
Hmm.
and then Blaze's mother spoke on his behalf, and lawyers argued and all that, and they had sentencing guidelines, and they came back. They could have given him life without parole, like, done.
Hmm.
They took death penalty off the table. It wasn't on the table, but it was life without parole or life basically with parole, and it was for two people, not one, and some other stuff. So they came back with for life with parole. And so his first chance at parole is going to be in 51 years. So he'll be like 80 something. But yeah, I don't think if his mother would not have given the statement that she had given, I think he would have gotten life without parole. You could see that they're really a close family, and he had no history
Hmm.
of this kind of thing. But here's the thing that happened that was just so gut wrenching. Um, Blaze called 911 when she got really sick, right? But only after Jade called her best friend, who had just been at their home with them like a half hour
Okay.
earlier, and and allowed her to hear what was going on. Her friend was like, "What is happening?" She thought she was talking to her,
Hmm.
and Jade was saying to Blaze, "What did you put in my drink?" I mean, this was some incredible evidence. I can't feel my legs. I feel really awful. You did this because you didn't want this baby. It was so awful. And then the friend is like, "Are you talking to me? Like, what is happening?" Anyway, she got over there, but once Blaze realized the friend knew, he then
Hmm.
called not 911. He called his father and then called 911. Right. So she ultimately died. She was in a coma pretty much. It was awful. It was a just terrible kind of death. It was nasty. And so
Hmm.
that happened, and that's NFL adjacent. So I just wanted to mention that because this is a football family. The mother described them as such. So I will go
Man.
on.
Oof, that's dark. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to get it out of the way. I'm going to go on to most impressive. We talked about the situation with Terry and Arnold like a few weeks
Hmm.
ago.
Hmm.
Well, I watched the hearing. I have never in my life, and I watch a lot of trials, been more impressed by lawyering in a hearing than the bond hearing for Terry and Arnold.
Really?
My gosh, this dude is good. So he got out on bond, okay, so he can work for the Lions without an ankle monitor.
Hmm.
because of this lawyering. And, but of course, 5 minutes later, he was released by the Lions. And so the
Yeah.
prosecutors are back in court saying, excuse me, can we have that ankle bracelet back?
Yeah.
But now he's trying to get a position. But, if anyone signs him, you just have to wonder if they're going to do it as a favor type of thing, just to keep, I don't know. The whole thing is kind of weird, but he has a legal team. The guy I was so impressed with, his name is Harvey Steinberg. He came out of Denver like the night before. He just hired him, and he's got history of representing athletes. He also has a lawyer whom I know who's in Tallahassee, which is where he lives. Terry Arnold lives in Tallahassee,
Okay.
Florida, when he's not in there. And maybe that's where he's from. And then the crime that he's being charged in Tampa Bay. So he also has a Tampa Bay lawyer. So he's got somebody in Tampa. He's
Hmm.
got somebody in Tallahassee, and then he's got this hot shot. All I want to say is I started watching the hearing, and I'm like, is this guy drunk? The lawyer. I'm like,
Hmm.
wow, who is this guy? I didn't. And then he just did his stuff, and wow, it was like jujitsu type thing. He did so well, but also it was a little amusing. He's a lawyer who's really easy to like, kind of. He's not
Okay.
abrasive or hot shotty or anything like that. But he did football analogies for days, and it was pretty funny, like with the judge. And it was pretty funny. He had the judge just wrapped around his finger by the time the thing was done. So anyway, most impressive. That's why he got out on bond.
Hmm.
I didn't expect him to with those charges. I have a feeling with that kind of lawyering, those charges are going to be changed. There's going to be a
Hmm.
plea deal. But anyway, so, and that'll save everybody a lot of trouble. By the way,
Okay,
Mark
so hold on.
Sanchez. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, sorry to interrupt. Did you ever watch the show Angel, the Buffy the Vampire spin-off? You ever watch that?
no.
Would recommend. I like it even better than Buffy, but I will say real fast. The reason why I asked is because there is a law firm run by demons, basically called Wolfram and Hart, the wolf, the ram, and the heart. And I was like, man, this is like some Wolfram and Hart lawyering. You're talking about like charming the judge and like getting a guy off of something that he seemingly really
Hmm.
did. So, yeah, I would.
Yeah,
For those who know, that's some Wolfram and Hart stuff right there.
yeah, yeah. It, I was just like, this guy is something else. I was just, this is great. I can't wait for
Hmm.
this trial. um, if there is a trial, but it's a horrible thing to say, but it might be,
Hmm.
it might not be a trial. I have a feeling this lawyer is good enough. There's not going to be a trial. There's going to be a plea deal. I don't think Terry and Arnold is going to be able to play in the NFL, even with a plea deal.
Yeah, I hope
So,
not. I
but that's
mean,
a whole nother conversation. I just wanted to mention July 13th, Mark Sanchez's trial was supposed to start. And so I was going to
okay.
be talking about that. Are you familiar with Mark Sanchez? That he was a former quarterback and then he became a
Yeah.
Fox News Sports and he beat up that old guy, alley
Right,
in the
right, right,
middle of the
right.
night.
That's a little while
Like,
ago,
what the
right?
hell?
Yeah.
That was supposed to happen. It's been delayed 5 times. But to be honest, it's only the incident was in 2025. So it's not unusual to have those kind of delays. I mean, years of
Right.
delays, but it's supposed to go ahead. I want to say, I forgot, I wrote it down, but it's going to go ahead. It's not over. If anyone wants to know, it's not over. It's just been delayed.
Mm.
And if you want to take the flip side of things, I I ran across, just because I was looking things up, an article from sportsscroll.com, and it was called 26 Most Notorious Lawbreakers in the NFL History. So, again, there's plenty to
Nice.
do during the off
Yeah,
season.
exactly.
And just the last on this is John Gruden's trial is still also planning to go ahead in May of 27. I haven't said much about Gruden lately, but he's been in the news lately because wants a job. He wants a coaching job. So
I mean,
that came up, and I think not a head coaching necessarily, but which might mean there might be agree, some deals going on with NFL. You know, Gruden and Flores, both the NFL lost both of those fights that went to the highest levels,
Hmm.
Supreme Court, to arbitrate,
Hmm.
because the NFL's arbitration is really sketchy anyway, but they've lost. So I think that's a sign of things to come too, with
Hmm.
players' rights and things like that. So yeah, so that is my second superlative. Matt, what do you have next?
I love that. It was a multifaceted superlative.
Yeah,
Well, my
I
next
just
one
think
is
it's
best. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
a lot to do in the off season. In other
Yeah.
words,
Sorry. You start
yeah.
researching, you go down some
Mhm,
rabbit holes. Absolutely.
mhm, mhm.
All right. Well, my second superlative is best quote unquote new podcast. I say new because it's not actually new. It's just been kind of like revamped and I don't know if it's gonna be a full on reboot. I hope it does continue. What I'm saying is that there's actually FanDuel has it's like sort of a series of podcasts, one of which is called Believe in fill in the team name. So there's a Believe in Packers podcast that only had like 4 or 5 or 6 episodes, but it's with Amon Green. Thing is, they
Oh,
just restarted it, and you know who's doing it with Amon Green? Do you know who this is? Do you know about this?
can I guess?
Yes.
Bakhtiari.
No, no, no. It's one of our friends. It's
No.
Joey Van Zumeren.
Oh, Joey! Oh my gosh.
Yeah, doing a
I love
podcast with
that.
Amon Green for FanDuel. What the heck? So they have one episode out. I listened to it today, and it's so funny because we have listened to Joey's voice on Underage Packers podcast. We did for years, and on our show
Mhm.
and stuff like that. He's grown up,
Mhm.
Don. He's got like a man voice now. It's hilarious to hear it
I
at first, but
know
it's
we're
like,
not going to recognize.
oh, I was thinking at first, I was like, wait, huh? That's not Joey. I was like, no, wait, let me just kind of listen to it and think what would his teenage Joey voice sound like as an adult. But I don't mean to fix it on that because it was really good. Joey was a good podcaster back in the day, and he's going to
Mhm.
journalism school, at Mizzou. So he's only
Mhm.
getting better and better. And the fact that he could
Right.
hold down a whole entire conversation like a pro. I mean, like literally, he sounded like a pro with Amon
Oh,
Green.
I
It
can't
was
wait.
it was awesome, and so it sounds like that's like a new podcast
Mhm.
duo. I think they'll be probably weekly doing podcasts or something like that. So we'll have to get Joey in the show again, catch up with him, hear about how he got this gig and stuff. But
I
people,
know
you got to
we
check
were
it
just
out.
talking about that, weren't we? Just talking about Joey, or I know I was thinking about him. It's like
He
we
came
have
up
to
recently.
have
We are
him
talking about it.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he's been in school. Did he graduate, or is that next year?
I don't think he's graduated yet, but I'm not positive.
It's coming up.
Coming up.
Oh, good one, Maddie. Very good one.
What's your next one?
Well, a palate cleanse after all that crimey stuff. And
Hmm.
I really liked this episode. There's a whole series of this type of thing on the Athletic Football Show. And this episode I really loved was called What Do NFL GMs Actually Do? And they had
So
on a
good.
former, yeah, okay, you
That's a good
saw
one.
it. I love that episode so much. Great title too, because it was like, okay, I'm in.
Hmm.
So yeah, so recommend that. So there's a lot to talk about, and again, this with the theme of how to cope with the off season. I think just, we've talked about this before, but learning more about either the business side or the coaching side of NFL or crime, whatever. Um, it's something to do to help you appreciate what's going on a little bit more. I've
Hmm.
learned certainly a lot more about how the NFL does business. I would have never known if I hadn't kind of dove into some of these things. So I
Hmm.
just feel like it makes my relationship to the team and to the game more dimensional and fun, even when they are not playing
Yeah. Here.
and or when they're losing. Because there's still more to learn about and talk about. Yeah.
All right. So who are we on? Is it?
You,
It is me. Okay.
your
So make sure.
turn.
Yeah, it got knocked off my
Sorry.
mark for a second there.
Sorry,
Sorry
I
about
didn't hand it off. I didn't hand it off. I thought you were going to say something, so I
that.
shut. I was
I
like,
was fresh out of comments for that. So all right, my next one, best metric. Now the thing is, I don't actually know how the metric is composed, but I can say the concept behind this metric was
Hmm.
on a series of 2 episodes on
Okay.
the Father Son Packers podcast. They're looking at
Oh,
the
nice.
NFC North defensive and then the offensive projections. And so the way they did this is they compiled different sorts of rankings and metrics and all these other things, and they're very careful to not have redundancies, like something that incorporated like a passer or quarterback rating, passer rating incorporates a couple different like things into it. So don't use that because you get that same data from other sources and other ways you look at it. So comparing all the different things they could for each position, um, for the Packers and the other NFC North teams to really say like definitively, who has the best corners, who has the best wide receivers, and I'm down the line.
Mm.
It was a really
Mm-hmm.
cool way to approach it. Very, very
Yeah.
data thick, but at the same time, it's not like
Mm-hmm.
they got bogged down in talking about the data. They just kind of said, well, we
Right.
ran the numbers, hit go in the spreadsheet, and here is what we saw for first, second, third, and fourth for each of these different categories. It was a really, really interesting couple of episodes, but interesting process. Interesting to hear them talk about it and break it down. I really enjoyed it. I mean, that show, I listen to them every week, of course, but extra good work from them on these.
I love it. I will definitely check it out. I was listening to a lot of different podcasters today. I got a lot of people, like a lot of these Q&As where it's like, are the Packers going to win the division this year?
Mm-hmm.
That type of thing. So oh, and I have a new doctor, another Lions fan doctor. I have accumulated two
How? It's so
doctors. So
weird.
I really need to be careful about what I say publicly about Dan.
I think anything you say about Dan Campbell publicly has already been said by other people because
Yeah.
he's not because you're not original, Don. I don't mean that, but because he's such a meathead. I think that's the word you use for him, right?
I, it really is. It really is. Yeah. It. I feel bad now. I'm not going to use any more. Well, maybe I could because I used to use the Rob Reiner when he played Meathead on All in the Family. But
Mm-hmm.
I guess I could still do that, even though Rob's no longer with us.
Yeah.
Another
R.I.P.
crime. Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. But how you feeling about the division? I don't know if I feel like even thinking about that, but it is going to be what it's going to be. You know.
How I feel the division down, I don't know because I feel like there are so many unknown things.
Mm,
How
yeah.
will our new DC and special teams, coordinator, how will they do? How will the team
Yeah.
take
New
to them?
coaches.
Will be
Mm-hmm.
better, how fast
Mm-hmm.
can our injured players get back? Is
Mm-hmm.
Caleb, with the Bears, is he a huge regression candidate, or does he actually have the goods? Is their defense just a mirage last year? Do the Lions actually still have any juice and they just had like some bad years with injuries? Do the Vikings stand a chance of doing anything? There's just so many things we can't know yet. So I
Yeah.
don't know how I feel with the division. And because of that, Don, because of that, I'm gonna try to go back to the mindset this season of being like, you know what? It's all vibes. If we do great,
Right.
that's fun, and I don't necessarily expect it because I know that we have 3 really good teams in the Vikings in the division right now. So whatever happens, happens. I'm just going to enjoy the games and hope we at least beat the Bears. Ideally, all of our division opponents as well. So yeah, I don't know what the division's gonna be
Yeah.
like. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Most people haven't forgiven Matt LaFleur about losing to the Bears. Yeah, that was pretty unforgivable. But
Ugh,
yeah, same,
rough way
same,
down.
same. I'm glad the division is strong. That's what one of my interestingly, both of my I just thought of this. Both of my Lions doctors
Hmm.
replaced doctors who retired.
Okay.
So, or one moved away. He didn't really retire, but he moved away, and then the other one retired. But
Hmm.
anyway, they I didn't pick them, but they're nice and I really like them, and I'm sure they're really good doctors. I just, I'm just like I've got two Lions fans doctor. I don't have any Packer fans
That's so
doctor.
crazy.
What's
Yeah.
going on? Although I don't talk to my doctors about football very much.
Hmm.
They asked me. Well,
Interesting.
the one was like, oh, I guess I don't know how he knew I was from Wisconsin, but it was the day that Micah Parson got picked up by the
Right.
Packers.
We were
So he
talking
was
about
like,
that. Yeah.
yeah, he was on, yeah. So, and then this other guy was introducing himself and saying he was from Michigan and that kind of thing. So I guess we started with that. But I feel like both of them sort of initiated that because they knew I was from Wisconsin. It's hard to be on top, you know, you're always getting picked on, punching up. Anywho, yeah, so yeah, I feel the same way. Enjoy the season, watch as many games as possible. Try not, definitely, I am enjoying not being on social media very much. I will be more during the season, of course, but
Hmm.
I didn't get into all that vitriol. I didn't look at a lot of comments last year about, you know, fire this person, all of that. I'm
No.
just not letting that into my conscience. I can't.
Yeah,
I
you can't.
can't.
That's ridiculous.
We don't need that. All
So wait,
right,
so
Maddie.
don't.
Well,
Oh yeah,
oh,
no,
you
I
have a
still have another
bonus.
superlative left and a moment of
I just remembered.
appreciation. Yeah, so a little bit of stuff
What's
left
that?
to empty out
Oh,
here. So, but I'll be kind of quick with it though. So my last actual superlative is most mind blowing. Dawn, did you see this? Bill Huber wrote an article with the top 250 Packers players in Packers history. 250. He had write ups on 250 different players. And I sat there going, what? It took me like,
woo!
over the course of a couple of different lunch periods just to like, because I wasn't like reading it the whole time, but like read a chunk, read a chunk, read a chunk. Fascinating. Some of the write ups are like 2 lines long, but still, like Bill Huber, 250 Packers. Holy cow. And I like because he started off like, here are like the very best, the most notable. Then here are ones from like the Lombardi, championship era. Here is from like their lull they had, for decades with not very much, championships or anything like that, even playoffs appearances. But here were good players from that era, that kind of thing. Spectacular, just mind-boggling how much work Bill must have put into this. So huge hats off to
Wow.
him. Do you see that? It was crazy.
I didn't. I did not see it. I just want to acknowledge also a moment of appreciation for our chat, which is so fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, True North. Joey is finally able to rent a car.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats. Iowa Joe says Don may have another case with NFL ties. This is true. Matt Miller. He got in a car accident and lost part of his arm, which is really sad. But then there's a lot of things that have been brewing about some sketchy things. So yeah, there's going to be more about Matt Miller for sure. That's really sad
Oh
to
my.
be dealing with that, but also have your whole life now you have to deal with something you might have done. And also True North mentions soccer. FIFA has been great. I haven't had a chance to watch hardly any of it because I don't
Mm.
like when it's football season, I have that time blocked. It's like, okay, I'm going to be watching football a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But like in summer and other times of the year, yeah, I just don't sit and watch things. But I did try and watch some games, some soccer matches, and oh, it's been really fun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I will
I
be
like a little
watching
bit of it here
tomorrow
and
and
there.
Sunday.
It is fun.
Yeah.
Sorry, Don. You were saying?
Oh, I was just saying I will watch the finals tomorrow and Sunday. No, Friday, Sunday and Saturday. Yeah. Saturday, Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, it's hard though too because it's during the day so that the Europeans can see it at the same time, and yeah, so
Yeah.
that's why. Although they make us get up at 5 a.m. for football when they're playing in Europe. So hey, you know that's part of the reason. I mean, if it were at night, I would have probably watched more games. If
Mm-hmm.
it were at night, my time, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like in the middle of the day on a weekday. There's just stuff going on. So yeah, soccer's been great. It's been great. I do watch soccer here and there anyway. Not just because it's here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and Iowa Joe says on Matt Miller, there have been allegations for years, and it is bad timing for them to come back out, but they do need to be investigated. Yeah, just can't imagine being flat on your back with that kind of an accident, losing a limb, and then having to deal with
Yeah.
all of that.
Woof.
Was like he's really getting slapped in a
Mm-hmm.
large way. So yeah. Okay, so was that your last bonus superlative,
That was
Matt?
my last superlative, but I have one more thing. It was the
Loved
moment of
it.
appreciation. So I've been doing these lately. I think it's
Okay.
our third episode in a row where I've instead of like just doing a superlative about a specific um, you know, content creator or team, uh, trying
Hmm.
to recognize people who have been doing consistently good work, especially in the off season when it's hard to do
Yeah.
consistently good work. So this week I just want to highlight the excellent work that the Monday Pack a Day crew is doing. We're talking about Dan Kotnick, Camille Monet, and Monty
Oh.
Moore, friends of the show, all three. And I say this because every Pack a Day crew is doing great, but the thing about them that really sets them apart and what I'm talking about here is that like they'll find funny little approaches to talking about stuff. Like they did um various kinds of drafts over the course of the summer, some really fun weird ones. I'm trying to think what they did this week that was like interesting, but like they always find a way to like bring out like a fun twist to what they're talking about and not just like, all right, we're talking about these
Mm-hmm.
guys, here's a breakdown of these guys. It's like, no, let's do
Right,
something
right.
like a game show, with it or something. So
Yeah.
yeah, the work that the Monday Pack a Day crew has been doing has been fantastic. They have definitely vaulted into like put them at the top of the queue
Mm.
on Monday mornings, for my podcasts, for listening to while I'm making breakfast and on my way to work. So keep up the good work, guys. It's been really great.
Nice. Nice. And
And now,
congratulations for
Don.
making breakfast. I was
Yeah.
just going to say congratulations for making. I am not a breakfast person. I don't eat before noon. I just
Mm.
so it's super rare. I will go out for like a breakfast, but it's usually like
Mhm.
2 in the afternoon.
Yeah, I've been eating a
No,
lot of
but
oatmeal
that
lately
sounds
to try to
delightful.
help my heart health. Get some oatmeal going on
Yeah,
in
I
the
was going to
morning. So
ask,
mhm.
are you doing a new workout?
I actually, since you asked, started doing a morning set of calisthenics and an afternoon workout as well. It's just short stuff that I can do with like an app on my phone, basically. But Don, it's been helping a lot. Like my cardiopulmonary health, my ability to like walk up a hill and not be gasping, walk up the stairs to say goodnight to my kids, and not be like, all
Awesome.
right, good night, kids. I get up to the top, I'm just normal. So
Oh,
it's
I
been
love
great.
it.
And like, I have a lot of belly here that doesn't always show up on camera. Um,
Hmm.
but I'm not doing this to like reduce that. I don't, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to try to like help my, ability to function and like have some
Right.
strength and some endurance. And so that's been coming along, which has been really cool. So, it's really low commitment in terms of how much of my day it takes up, but it's just like
Hmm.
being consistent and doing this stuff every day. So between that and trying to eat a little bit better, like it's mentioned, having oatmeal for breakfast. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
feeling great lately.
Yeah. I need to. I've never been able to do breakfast. I don't know what it is, but that is awesome. And so, sorry, I'm giggling at the chat. So, how long have you been doing this? And so you're already seeing results.
I started the calisthenics about 3 weeks ago. We're giggling because True North said Matt is 100% in
Yes.
training for his next prison escape. That's good. That's good. Um, do it about three weeks for the calisthenics. I think
Yeah. Yeah.
it's been good.
Now, on the True North, I'm sorry, Iowa Joe, on the vegetable situation, it's mostly leafy greens and it's mostly salad kits. Like if you just buy your lettuce, like a head of lettuce and wash it well, you're fine. And I guess raspberries are bacteria collectors, so stay away from raspberries. So of course, I just had a bunch of raspberries when this happened, so I'm
Oh
with you.
no, Don.
But I wash my things really well. But if you buy your own lettuce or even grow your own, is your daughter growing lettuce, Maddie?
No, not
Not
this year.
lettuce.
Not yet.
Not lettuce. Okay. So in any case, yeah. So maybe skip salads for just a little while until this passes. But yeah, you don't want to get that
No,
veggie
no one
thing.
wants
But
that.
that's great. So 3 weeks and you're already feeling results. That's
Yeah, after 2 weeks,
amazing.
I was
Isn't that
actually.
amazing?
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's wild. Yeah, our bodies can really recover from a lot. It's crazy. Yeah. I'm doing physical therapy for some of my injuries that kind of just started like bothering, chronically bothering me. But then I don't know if I mentioned, but for me, I started hula hooping again
Ooh.
and trampolining. Yes. But you got to start slow, especially with the tramp because now it's like my knees all taped up. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
it takes a minute to get going again. But yeah, it's same reasons, and I'm walking more. I used to be avidly active, and then I went for a couple of years of just doing nothing.
Hmm.
So it's kind of feels good to get moving again. If you can really tell, like it just feels different right away, pretty like
Yeah,
within a couple of weeks. I'm glad. Yeah, glad you're having those results. That's awesome.
because it's
Yeah.
so easy to do nothing. you know, it's so easy to do nothing. But once get active, get moving around, just doing something, like it does feel really good. And it's worth the time and the getting off the couch and like actually doing the thing is like kind of at first, but like do it, man. Do something. Move around. Live longer, you know?
It was never, it was my whole life was never easy to do nothing. I was super like, I had to be moving all the time. And then like a
Mhm.
couple years ago, I just went, ugh, because I was just dealing with a lot of things. But part of my issue was because of the surgery I had with my stomach and all that stuff that happened. And then
Mhm.
I had another procedure less than a week ago. Well, no, it was about a week ago. Um, I couldn't eat right. Like I couldn't swallow things and I couldn't eat the kind of nutrition I
Mm,
needed in order to be fueled. It was like a big, so now I'm able to get a few things down. So it's great. Yeah. So I'm
that's
like,
great.
energy. It's amazing what happens when you can eat food. Alrighty. We need Ohana Packers trampoline episode. So you could just be jumping on the trampoline while you do your podcast. Yeah. If you do it enough, you can do it without like gasping for air.
Yeah,
So, but
exactly.
start slowly. Start
Start
slowly.
slowly.
Don't
Yes.
like be
Do easy
flipping
to it.
and stuff like that. Just bounce. Yeah. But it's so good for your circulation and your lymphatic movement and all that. It's really just and hula hoop too. It's just super. I could do a whole podcast hula hooping. I could.
Hmm.
I mean, I can just hula hoop forever. And then we'd have the Ohana Packers ER episode. No, we don't want that. We don't want that. All right, Maddie. Well, any final thoughts? Because you're going to go on vacation. You're going on a couple of different trips coming up. So we'll be gone for a couple of weeks, right?
Well, we'll figure it out, but like we could do one
Oh,
next
wait,
week,
you're
but then I'll
here
be gone
next
for the
week.
2 weeks
You're here.
after that. So yeah, we should do it. Otherwise, we're waiting 3 weeks for another episode. So yeah, let's do one
Okay,
next week.
yes.
All
Okay,
right.
sorry. Okay, we'll
Yeah.
be back next
Yeah.
week. And then you'll be back in time for family night, right?
I believe that's
Because
true.
yeah. Cool.
It's the future. I don't
Cool,
know. It's
cool,
weeks from
cool.
now, whatever it is. So yes, I'll be getting
You
back
know you're counting
into
down.
thinking about the Packers just as training camp is getting going. So
Right,
excited about
right.
that.
It's very exciting. All right. Well, thanks again, chat, for being here and everyone who's replaying or listening on our podcast. We love you very much. We appreciate
Mhm.
your listening. Let's bring her home, Maddie.
Sure thing. So, friends, we'd love to have a chance to interview you and shout you out if you're a subscriber and a football fan. If you'd like to nominate someone to be a guest on our podcast, please let us know. Our DMs are open on all the social platforms. And, folks, when you subscribe to our podcast, you help us to keep spreading the love in our community. And the best way to help this podcast grow is by sharing it with your friends and family.
Yes, Maddie, that's right, because we love you. We're so glad to know you, to be fans of you, and have the luxury of being fans of the most storied team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate your support, your subscriptions, and sharing our pod, and we look forward to seeing you next week on
Hey, we like your pod.
Yes! Yes! A leaping catch at the 30-yard line. First down, Green Bay. There is your Dagger.
Football in general comes down to discipline and people owning their roles. And when you aren't disciplined or you go outside the scheme, bad stuff happens.